The Riley and Kimmy Show.
Welcome to the Riley and Kimmy Show. I am your host, Patrick Riley. This episode is being brought to you by the Orlando Toy and Comic Con, happening in Orlando, Florida, on January 31st, a Sunday, right across from Universal Studios at the Holiday Inn. Be sure to check out our website, RileyandKimmy.com, for more information about the Orlando Toy and Comic Con. Now, this is a very special episode of the Riley and Kimmy Show. We loaded up the Batmobile and we headed to Deland, Florida. Now, the reason we went to Deland, Florida was to visit Carasells Collectibles, and specifically Jim Cara of Carasells Collectibles. Now, Jim is also the promoter of the Deland Comic and Collectible Show, happening at the Volusia County Fairgrounds real soon. Matter of fact, on Sunday, January 10th. We want to speak to Jim about what's going to be occurring at this event. And by the way, after our interview with Jim, we spend some time at a comic book store in Deland. Cliff's Books. It's actually more than a comic book store, and you'll see why when we go to that interview. And by the way, stick throughout the interview, because a little bit after, we take a brief tour of Cliff's Books. So the adventure begins now. Let's check out Jim Cara, Carasells Collectibles, and talk about the Deland Comic and Collectible Show at the Volusia County Fairgrounds this Sunday, January 10th. The Riley and Kimmy Show's at Carasells Collectibles in downtown Deland, talking to the store owner, Jim Cara. But Jim has so many hats that he wears. Yeah, like these. He wears a hat as promoter of a very big convention that's coming up. Actually, Toy Show Collectibles should be the better term, right? Because you don't have the word convention to the Deland Comic Collectible Show,
It's
right?
Collectible Show, right. We got away from the word convention. We just like the word show better.
Well, don't you think, let's be honest here, let's put you on the spot. A lot of people, a lot of promoters use that or overuse that. They throw the Comic Con into the thing. Smaller shows, yeah. I'm talking about.
Well, we use the word comic because we have a lot of comics at the show, but we also have lots of other things. And we're putting on more of a show than a convention. So that's the reason we went that route.
And in ways, one of the things I noticed, like with your show, that sets it apart, different from, let's say, a MegaCon or a Dragon Con or Tampa Bay Comic Con, is you're back to the roots, the way these shows actually probably started so many years ago. You have the comic books and the collectibles, because as a collector, I find it very hard to find something nostalgic at, let's say, a MegaCon. Not bashing MegaCon, but very hard.
Correct. We've worked a little bit harder to find some of the older product, 80s, 90s, and before that, as opposed to all the new product coming out. Now, we'll have that there as well. Some of the vendors deal in that. But we're always looking for vendors with a broad range of time periods and items, so that there's something for everybody to enjoy at the show.
And that's one of the things I think about, not bashing other shows. You're actually selective with the vendors, too, because you're trying to do that. You're trying to keep a separation, where there are some shows where it's anybody who wants to be there while their tables are available for sale, they're in. That's
true. We have a lot of people who are interested in being in our show, and part of the selection process is to try and keep a balance of the types of items that are there. We're not interested in having encyclopedia salesmen or the guy selling cuts of meat.
That's good. I like that part. But you have plenty of people selling, maybe, let's say, something from the 70s, like a lunchbox. I could find a lunchbox, I bet, at your show.
You will certainly find vintage lunchboxes at the show. You'll find new Star Wars and old Star Wars. You'll find movie posters. You'll find pretty much anything you can think of along the collectibles line.
And you even have comic book shops that will be there with their products that are bringing some current, some not so current, like what's called back issues. And I also know comic book dealers like Pop Culture Playground. Tom Rump will be there.
That's correct. We've got a great selection of stores from the local area represented there. And we've got guys who have the really old stuff as well as the really new stuff. Now,
tell me about some of the guests you have. Let me kick it off with my brother from another mother, my doppelganger, John Diadana, will be there from Phantasmagoria Orlando with the troupe, right?
That is correct. Phantasmagoria will be there. They do an awesome job. They MC the show for us. They're going to keep you entertained all day long doing different little scenarios and stuff. So I think most people are going to have a really great time seeing them.
Now that is pretty cool. And are they doing fire if weather permits?
If weather permits, yes.
And let's see, you have them, and then you have a zombie or two. You have Tim Proctor, artist and zombie from The Walking Dead, right?
That is correct. We've got Scott Finsterer, last year semifinalist in the Sci-Fi Channel TV show called Face Off. We have the three-time winner of Ultimate Cake Off. Eric Wohler will be with us. He's now doing cupcake zombie sculptures, which are truly amazing. You're going to love seeing these things.
They are art, and you can't eat these. I found that out. You
Yes,
can't.
these are no longer edible. There's a great storyline that goes with the cupcake zombies. His wife makes a line of sterling silver jewelry. I'm not sure if she'll be bringing that with her, but they're made from vintage sterling silver forks because, as we all know, it's well documented, the only way to kill a cupcake zombie is with a sterling silver fork.
Ooh, we're crossing into the world of supernatural with this interview. I like this. I like this. And speaking of supernatural, I believe you have somebody who was in the world of horror films, right?
We do. We have Susanna Lee with us. First time in this area. Susanna has been in a couple of the Hammer horror films. She was also in the amazing remake 1974 of Son of Dracula with Ringo Starr. She was in Lost Continent, Deadly Bees, and of course is very well known as Elvis Presley's love interest in Paradise Hawaiian Style.
Wow. So we know she has stories about Elvis and also Christopher Lee.
She does. She was good friends with Christopher Lee. She's an amazing lady. She's also an artist and has, I believe, at least 2 books out. She's still working in film. So you'll want to come out and meet her and say hi, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy talking to her.
And you just told me before we turned on the camera, she's a big animal lover. So I want to meet her because she likes dogs.
She does. She loves dogs. She's got some great animals. She just recently adopted a new little puppy, and so she'll be happy to talk to you about dogs.
Oh, that's cool. I'm looking forward to. And wait a minute, somebody from The Godfather, right?
We do. We have John Martino. He played Paulie in The Godfather. He's one of the favorites of the public in the Central Florida area. He has great stories. Can tell you about meeting some amazing people like Frank Sinatra and Marilyn Monroe, and tell you some great insider stories about The Godfather.
And I can't forget the celebrity artist that you have. We have to mention the celebrity artist. Matter of fact, I've only met him briefly at a convention a long time ago. The very first print I ever bought at a show was because of him. His art just struck me. One of his Batman Joker prints, and that artist is
Tommy Castillo. He's a legend in Batman drawing. Worked mostly on Legends of the Dark Knight. Just an incredible artist with a fine eye for detail. He's moved on, is working on other projects now, such as The Dark Side of Oz. Just does incredible work. You're going to love seeing his work and enjoy talking to Tommy. And then we also have Nathan Zerdy with us. Nathan was recently picked up by DC in the Cryptozoic Trading Card series with some artwork there, and Nathan does some really incredible art too.
Gorgeous. He'll have pinups and things available for purchase, I'm sure, and you will want to add some art with either artist to your walls.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And let's see. Very affordable to get in. Here's the key. Some conventions I've been to, parking is like $20. $20. It's not $20 to get into your... No.
It's not. It's free to park. And if you start saving today at the rate of $1 a day, you'll have more than enough to get in on show day Sunday because it's only $5 to get in. 12 and unders are free with adults.
And one last question before I let you go to your collectible world here, which is big and vast, and I suggest people to come to Carasells Collectibles in downtown Deland and check it out, is will there be food at this big event?
There's definitely going to be food at this event. Now, we have a new food vendor with us, so I'm not sure exactly what products he'll have, but there's food on site for you to purchase, so you don't have to wander too far away. There's an ATM available just across the parking lot.
And not as a call to urgency, as they say, one of those little hip terms, in advertising. But in all seriousness, get there early, right? Because from a collector, you and I are both collectors. You own a business and everything, but you're actually a collector too.
Correct.
The first who's there wins in something like this.
Oftentimes, there's going to be one of a particularly rare item there, and if you're not the first one there and finding it, you're not going to get it. But we do open the doors at 10 to the public, and it runs till 5. We hope you'll come out and join us.
Thank you, Jim, and I hope to talk to you at the show. And I know you're going to be very busy, but we hope to catch you at the show. And by the way, thank you for inviting the Riley and Kimmy Show to this big event.
We love having you guys there, and we really appreciate it.
The Riley and Kimmy Show's in Deland. We visited Carasells Collectibles to talk about the Deland Collectible Show. It's about to happen on Sunday, January 10th. But right now, we are with Cliff of Cliff's Books. Now, Cliff, you and I have known each other for quite a period of time, and we've encountered each other at convention to convention across the areas, and you're going to be at the Deland Show, right?
I will be. It's set up with stuff to sell.
Now, the stuff to sell, I'm going to take some still photos and also some video here briefly. I'm in your store, and do you have any idea how many comic books you have here? Just out of, if you had to say I have X amount.
I really have no clue. I could kind of make a guesstimation by counting boxes, but then we'd have to find all the boxes.
Would you say 50,000 plus?
Yes, maybe more.
Wow.
Access to 100,000 probably.
Wow. And Silver Age, Bronze Age, Modern Age?
Yeah, a lot of modern, some silver, and some bronze. You know.
You're not just limited to comic books. You actually have paperbacks, and you actually have hardbound books too, right?
Yes, I do. I have. I'm basically a bookstore with lots of other stuff to go along with it.
Now, did this all start because you had some crazy collection somewhere, and you decided, you know, I'm going to open up this pop culture, what is this, paperback comic book store? I mean, it's hard for me to identify what you are. I mean, because you have everything here.
I'm kind of like all over the place. In 1983, I was kind of in between things going on. I did have a job, but I wanted to change jobs, and my wife at the time just suggested, she goes, you know, you should open a store because you've always wanted to. I've always been a book person. So I opened the store with 2 boxes of comics and a rack of paperbacks that I had bought at the flea market, and have now successfully filled it to capacity and could fill it again to capacity if I had to.
Whoa. Whoa. Now, you will be going to the Deland show with some of this, obviously not all of this.
Actually, I don't really pull much out of the store. I don't have to anymore. I have a whole different pile of stuff that I work on. I keep trying to clean out the warehouse and the back room, you know, to make room so I have someplace to work. But you know.
Now, one of the things you and I have in common, and I'm looking at it here, and I'll take a picture and some video. You love Godzilla. Now, are you going to bring any Godzilla stuff?
I'm going to bring Godzillas. I always bring Godzillas because he's still popular.
How about Gamera?
Gamera, if I had Gamera stuff, I would bring it, but the Gamera stuff's kind of tough to find.
As I, you know, Kimmy found out about that because she doesn't know what Gamera is, and when she found out, she's like, "What's this Gamera thing?" And I'm like, "Oh, you know." And then she's finding out that she's going to shows and stuff, looking for Gamera stuff for me. She goes, "That stuff can be quite expensive." I go, "Yeah, Gamera can be."
Yeah, it can be expensive and relatively tough to find. You find lots of Godzilla stuff, but you know, the Flying Turtle wasn't merchandised as well as it could have been.
Yes. Now, Cliff, if somebody has a collection they want to bring into you, you're open to looking at collections and stuff to purchase?
Oh, yeah. That's how most of this has gotten here.
And how about books? If somebody has, you know,
definitely
hardbound
books. Definitely books.
Paperbacks, too?
Yep. Paperbacks, hardcovers. I'm kind of, the work in progress right now is cleaning out part of the store to make room for the stuff that it sells better. So I'm kind of weeding out certain categories, but eventually we'll get it down. Ever since I've opened, I've kind of used the shotgun effect because you got to have something for everybody. So that's getting a little tougher now that I have no room.
Wow.
But I'm spatially challenged.
Okay.
So, but I will always look.
All right.
You know, you never know what's going to be in the next box.
Okay. So if somebody wants to come out to the Deland show on Sunday, they can bring some things possibly to you too, right?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a little tougher at the shows,
right?
Because you're busy. There's a lot of people going. There's a lot of stuff going on. But we'll always look.
And definitely come into the store anytime.
Oh yeah, definitely at the store.
All right. That's Cliff's books. We'll have a link right on our website at rileyandkimmy.com. And Cliff, you and I will be seeing each other hopefully on Sunday. You won't be shy, and we can talk some more.
I will be there.
All right.
Yes, ready to rock.
Be there or be square.
Be there, be square. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, buddy. And I hope you can become part of the Riley and Kimmy show that day too.
Okay.